Hello, Holland Timmons here, also known as the Connoisseur, and longtime viewers of this channel may remember I had a few videos up reviewing the Star Wars movies. I took them down because I don't think I did the series justice, and well, now I'm doing them again because I think I can shed some new light on the Star Wars prequels and the originals. So here goes. What a lot of people may not realize, what I've just come to realize as of October of last year, is that the Star Wars prequels are the story of Camelot. Now, that may seem like a bold claim, but hear me out. So, last summer I was watching the Star Wars movies for the bajillionth time, and I was seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan in the middle of the Jedi Council giving their report, and I'm just thinking, well, that's strange. Why are Anakin and Obi-Wan standing in the middle of this circle of Jedi Knights? Oh wait, Jedi Knights in a circle. Yeah, if that doesn't give it away, I don't know what will. So the more I thought about it, the more I realized, wait a minute, Lucas is telling the story of Camelot through his Star Wars trilogy. But let's start with the first one, The Phantom Menace, which after seeing Star Wars Episode 7, I've gained a lot more appreciation for The Phantom Menace. So it starts out with two Jedi Knights being sent to assist the Queen, Queen Amidala, or as many other people may see it, if you are interested in Arthurian legend, Queen Amidala is supposed to represent Queen Guinevere. And when they go to the desert remote planet, they find this boy born without a father. If that sounds familiar from Arthurian legend, it is because that boy was the most powerful wizard in existence, whose name was Merlin. Now, Anakin is also born without a father. He's the most powerful Jedi in existence. Similarities much? Now, I'm not saying that Anakin is Merlin. I'm saying he is a combination of Merlin and Lancelot. On Tatooine, there's this very Ben-Hur futuristic type race that George Lucas presents, with Anakin playing the role of Ben-Hur. Now that has nothing to do with Arthurian times, but it has everything to do with Roman times, I guess. Rome has an interesting part to play in the Arthurian legends. So the fact that he uses Ben-Hur as part of the inspiration for the pod race is really cool. Finally, there is the fight at the end with Darth Maul, one of the first of many opponents that the Jedi will have to fight. Now, it ends with Anakin being trained as a Padawan, which brings us to movie number 2, Attack of the Clones. Now, a lot of people give Hayden Christensen a lot of shit for really bad acting, but what you have to remember is he wanted to go full-on dark, and George Lucas pulled him back a bit and said, no, you can't go there yet, you're not there yet as a character. Just very wise as a director, you want to plot your character's progression. And I think that Hayden Christensen was totally acting his heart out, being kind of put in reserved mode. He wasn't able to go full on dark, but he was able to convey his frustration with the Jedi Council. Now, as I said, this is the movie where I noticed that they were standing in the middle of a circle. This is also the movie where Anakin and Padme Amidala fall in love. It's a forbidden romance, just like the forbidden romance of Lancelot and Guinevere. And they know they shouldn't do it, but it happens anyway through a series of circumstances. They just fall in love. So there's the introduction of Jango Fett and the creation of the clone army on Kamino. And as the Clone Wars start, um, the Jedi are put in charge as the generals of the war, like leading the clone commandos into battle. It's a very good sequence and something George Lucas always imagined. Finally, we get to the finale of the Arthurian tale, Revenge of the Sith. Now, this is my second favorite movie out of the entire Star Wars saga, and this is where Anakin has a vision of Padme dying. It opens up with this huge space battle, and they rescue the Chancellor from Count Dooku. Anakin kills Count Dooku, and they go after General Grievous next to end the Clone Wars. Meanwhile, Anakin's under a lot of stress because of his visions and being sent to spy on the Chancellor and other things like that. He's just under a lot of stress. He is actually not turned to the dark side, rather he's tricked. But I want to go further into this. You see, throughout the entire Star Wars prequel saga, nobody gives a crap what Anakin thinks. Nobody ever asks him what he thinks. Obi-Wan is a horrible teacher since he never asked what Anakin thought. Of course, Anakin's going to go to the dark side and identify with the first person that conveys an interest in what he thinks. And the only person that ever shows any slight interest in what Anakin thinks, Chancellor Palpatine, in the opera scene. He asks what Anakin is thinking and shows genuine concern. Of course, he's going to go to the dark side by following the one person who actually cares what he thinks. What did you think was going to happen? Nobody cares what Anakin thought except for Chancellor Palpatine. And finally, when he finds out about the Chancellor's true endgame and who the Chancellor really is, he first decides to turn him over to the Jedi, but after finding out what the Jedi are planning to do, not going by the code, he turns on the Jedi. At least he turns on Mace Windu. And in an instant, it's over for Anakin. I mean, he chops off Mace Windu's arm. Chancellor Palpatine just electrocutes the son of a bitch out the window. It's pretty crazy, and Anakin realizes it's completely over for him. Did he do the right thing? Yeah, but he did it in the wrong way, I guess. And that spelled curtains for him, so he had no choice but to become a Sith. As the newly formed Darth Vader, he leads a whole battalion of clone troopers in an assault on the Jedi Temple. And he's doing all of this for Padme, and the same way that Lancelot took on all of Camelot with a battalion of knights to save Guinevere, and the Jedi Temple burns, Camelot falls. Anakin gets into a fight with Obi-Wan on Mustafar, and there's this really great action sequence. In my opinion, it's the best sword fight ever put to film. It's going to be hard for anybody to top this sword fight. It's just so well choreographed and so intense. They're just going at it with such furious intensity. Anybody could die or lose a limb at any point, and eventually they do. But that's not the point. The point is, like, the technical achievement it took to put such a sword fight to film. Anakin is defeated in battle and becomes the Darth Vader we all know and love. The Empire rises out of the Galactic Senate. The Jedi Temple and the Jedi Order falls. Camelot falls, as you will, all for a forbidden love. And everything takes place right before the events of the original trilogy. So as you can see, everything aligns. And that's the genius, is that Star Wars prequel trilogy is the story of Camelot. What I also like about the Star Wars prequels is that there's 1,000,001 bad guys all vying for control of the galaxy, and in the end, it's only Darth Vader and Darth Sidious who manage to achieve total control of the galaxy. And that leads us into the original trilogy. So yeah, that is how I see the Star Wars prequels as a retelling of the story of Camelot. Maybe you could see something I missed if you're familiar with Camelot, but I just covered the basics. So tell me, what do you think? Is it quite reminiscent of Camelot? I mean, the Jedi Knights are called knights, after all. What I like about George Lucas is his creativity and his originality, his imagination. That's something I've always appreciated, even if some other people haven't. I've obviously made fun of Star Wars, but everybody makes fun of Star Wars, so I don't feel bad about that. And, yeah. Anyway, this is the Connoisseur signing off.